Welcome back to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we also love focusing on education. And so we're honored to have join us Dr. Antonio Burt. He's the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of KIPP Memphis Public Schools. How are you doing, Dr. Burt?
I'm doing well, Jeremy. I want to thank you for having me on this morning. I'm excited to have a conversation with you about the great things that's happening at KIPP.
Absolutely. You're doing tremendous good. You've got schools that we'll talk about, a network. But let's start with a little bit of the backstory. For those who aren't familiar with KIPP Memphis Public Schools, give us a little bit of the context in terms of, the way you're set up, a little bit of the history for the organization.
Yep. So KIPP Memphis actually was started or began in Memphis in 2002 to really provide another neighborhood option for families, primarily in the North Memphis quarter of the city. Throughout the course of the last 19 going on 20 years, KIPP has primarily focused on really improving education outcomes of families in the North Memphis community and to provide a high quality school option.
You have 5 schools, and so give us a little bit of a lowdown on the 5 schools in the network.
Yep. So 5 schools, 2 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. All of the schools really serve as a feeder pattern for the high school. So our elementary schools operate on the K-4 model, and the middle schools are on 5-8, and the high schools also on 9-12, with the focus of really college and career readiness and improving outcomes for kids post-high school graduation.
Talk about some of the things that make you unique. One is you have kind of a different time frame in terms of 7:30 a.m. to 3:15, so a little bit longer on that end. Real heavy focus on intervention and reading and math. Give us some of those really specialties that KIPP shines in.
Yep. So a little longer school day than what you see in traditional schools, with most traditional schools have a 7-hour day. Also, we have to where we really put a heavy emphasis on ensuring that we have additional teachers to have smaller class size. So across our campuses, we have additional roles. Those roles are to provide targeted instructional support. And we also do Saturday sessions as well with the heavy emphasis around ensuring that kids' academic intervention needs are being met. So all of our campus have roles known as academic interventionists that push in to provide individualized support for students, but also support the students, the teachers around where kids may be struggling or where kids may need acceleration in areas that they've already mastered. So we're excited about our staffing structure because it allows us to provide more intimate, individualized instruction for students.
For you as the CEO, talk about culture and how you're able to kind of permeate that from your CEO vantage point down in through the principals, the teachers, all the different stakeholders and leaders for the children to build that rigor, that success, that thriving culture for the students.
Culture definitely is a way of life at KIPP. We do things where we start our day with community, where we're resetting the kids around our core values and beliefs to really get them focused on how do they be successful for that particular day. And not only from our scholars, but we really want to make sure all staff is really aligned with those core beliefs. So we do a lot of individualized check-in with the staff around how they're aligning with the core beliefs and values. We also do to where we have system-wide practices that promote strong culture. So we have roles within the building called DOSOs, which is like Director of School Operations. So they do everything to ensure that the culture is one where kids can thrive in an environment and where the environment isn't one that's providing a lot of barriers for learning. And we put supports in place for our staff as well to ensure that they are bringing their best self to work. And we do that through our regional retreats. We do that to where we host sessions at the site. And, in my 6 weeks, I really had a heavy emphasis around engaging the community and getting back to one of KIPP's core values is really communities as strong partners. So across these last 3 weeks, we did a lot of listening and learn sessions where we had an external partner come in, host sessions with parents, host sessions with staff, and host sessions with students to really listen from them to design or help us design what we feel is in the best interest of KIPP going forward, and what do they feel as stakeholders we need to do differently or strengthen.
Give us a little bit of your backstory, because as you mentioned, new to the role of CEO, definitely not new to education. This is your world for sure. I've had a chance to know you and work with you through New Leaders. And so you're a New Leaders alum as well, and obviously with Shelby County Schools too. So give us a little bit of your backstory coming to KIPP Memphis Public Schools.
Being given the opportunity to serve as CEO of KIPP Memphis definitely is an opportunity for my educational journey to come full circle. I started off in 2003 actually as a teacher at Cypress Middle, which is currently the Howell campus for one of our middle school and high schools. So it's definitely, full circle coming back to where you started. But had the pleasure of, going on from classroom teacher, being selected to be a resident principal with New Leaders, served as a principal in both a K-8 and one of the founding principals of the I-Zone at Ford Road Elementary School. We was able to do a lot of great things throughout my tenure as principal, and then was afforded the opportunity to be a leadership coach with TNTP, where I would travel across the country and work with school leaders. Worked in Florida as the director of school transformation, where I took over and oversaw 5 of the lowest performing schools actually in the entire state of Florida at the time. And then was asked to come back to Memphis and serve as assistant superintendent of the I-Zone. And after that role, or while in that role, I was actually promoted to serve as a chief academic officer, and was also the chief of schools for Shelby County Schools. So I had various roles within the city, a lot of great contacts, a lot of great relationships, and really those journeys or those stops has helped or will help me in my work as CEO of KIPP Memphis.
Give us your vantage point now. As you mentioned, you've done the listening sessions, you've taken the information, and now you're starting to kind of lay in the strategy. Talk about your vision moving forward for KIPP and kind of where things are headed.
Yeah, so we definitely have a laser-like focus on raising our academic achievement. We know that, part of the promise that was made to families almost 20 years ago was that KIPP would be the best neighborhood option. So in order to fulfill that promise, we have a laser-like focus of increasing academic achievement in all content areas. And we know to do that, we really have to focus on human capital, investing in the best teachers and leaders to really be in front of our students, also improving upon what's taking place inside the classroom. So we are designing our instructional core to really focus on high quality teaching and learning, to be also supported with high quality professional development. And with that, we feel that, if we bring our parents and our community along together as true thought partners, we all will have an aligned approach to bring about academic change for our students, not only academically, but also socially, emotionally as well.
Talk about technology. One of the things that's nice about KIPP Memphis Public Schools is you have a 1-to-1 ratio with devices, but talk about technology, not just in their hands, but what it means for the classroom and for the schools overall.
Yes, we're definitely excited about being a 1-to-1 network where our kids are really excelling with our devices. But also, as we think about KIPP in the future, we're really focusing up our efforts around ensuring that our students are college and career readiness. How do we take the technology and let the technology really open up doors beyond what the current reality is? So I'm really focused on implementing STEM courses beginning in middle school and going into our high schools to really ensure that our kids are really college, career, or workforce ready when they leave our care with that. So you'll see more STEM courses being offered. You'll see these STEM courses being led by actual experts in the particular field. And we're looking to extend partnerships with groups like Code Crew and other external partners that may want to provide internships for our high school students to really get exposed to particular fields, because we know that, the world is constantly changing. Technology is fast paced. Yes, we have devices now. Yes, we're really learning from a virtual aspect. But how do we bring the learning to our students to where they're true experts and true, sponges of the learning, and where they can leave us and be well versed to either go to college or be equipped to walk into a field ready on day one.
Carry that conversation forward, because as you mentioned, the community collaborations are a big part of what is going to, really kind of carry the forefront of this, and already what you're focused on in terms of your strategic focus. And so when you look at Code Crew, when you look at other opportunities for internships, for companies to plug in, what is that community aspect that we can play a role in helping you with?
Yeah, so I think definitely from a community aspect is really one, educating the parents or the guardians around, what does it mean to really be versed in robotics? What does it mean to really understand, electric vehicles and how the electric vehicles will shape the future? So bringing that awareness through more informational sessions, because I think if we start with educating the community, the parents or the guardians around what's the wave of the future, then they will be more adept to really push their kids around, hey, you really need to put your best foot forward in these particular areas. And then bringing those external partnerships to the networks. I often read and hear where different corporations say, hey, we need X number of employees to fulfill the jobs, or the chamber may be, thinking along the lines, we're trying to recruit these companies, come here. What does it mean for our, high school students to be prepared for that? Well, getting the key players at the table together, really outline what's the requirement that these corporations will look for, so we can then align our program of study to meet their needs as well.
It's interesting. And I love the fact that you bring up engaging the parents in the conversation, because many times in the school, you can talk about, and you can have the different business leaders and community leaders come in and talk about the job opportunities and everything from the computer science, the robotics, the electric cars, like you're talking about, to HVAC and the trades, like all these opportunities. But if the parents don't know about it and don't buy in, and I'm thinking, especially for girls who want to go into STEM and engineering, if they don't understand that there's huge opportunities there for them, they won't support them. And then all of a sudden you have a gap. And so to your point, engaging the parents in the conversation so they see the light as well, that then makes it possible for these students to have the support to go off and really thrive. So very smart on your end to engage not just the youth, but their parents in those conversations through those informational sessions. I love that approach.
Yeah, I had firsthand experience when I had a younger cousin who, his mother is a teacher, but now she works as like a STEM trainer for the state of Alabama. And, Jordan was really good in math and science. And so she went out recruiting summer programs from him. So he got into like the Duke, I think it's called Duke TIP program, where he spent the summer there, right? So my thought was that is, how can I better inform parents who may not have like those resources at their fingertip to know about those programs? Because there's so many summer opportunities. And I think those opportunities goes to the kids whose parental guardians really understand what it is that they should be looking for and set them up for that. So I want to bring the programs and information to the parents to really help them support and push kids around. This is year-long learning. This doesn't just take place during the regular school year. How can you do a continuation over the course of the summer, particularly in areas where they're offering these opportunities?
Yeah. Talk about what the public needs to know for parents who say, hey, this is a great opportunity for my child. How does it work in terms of enrollment? How does it work in terms of kind of setting the stage for children coming in and being a part of what you're doing?
Parents can definitely visit our website, kippmemphis.org. They can then learn about the actual application process. We are a free public charter school. So kids are allowed to register and apply, and all of it is based on availability, based on the number of seats that we have available. But we strongly encourage all parents to visit the website, kippmemphis.org, learn about the organization, but also click on like apply for their kid to attend KIPP. And we promise to really provide a world-class education for them under our guidance and leadership.
Give me one more thing that you wish everyone knew. So here's your chance to kind of set the stage. What's one more thing that you wish everyone knew about KIPP Memphis Public Schools?
KIPP Memphis Public Schools is really the oldest charter in Memphis, and one of the oldest charters in the U.S., and also the largest charter network in the U.S. as well. Long history, long track record of success, but more importantly, in the KIPP Memphis aspect, we're looking to partner with external partnerships to provide an education that's renowned, one that's focused on the whole child, one that's focused on the meeting the demand of the 21st century, but also one that brings the parent along as true thought partners side by side with the educators inside the building and at the regional office. So every voice is heard, every voice is part of the solution process at KIPP Memphis. And we promise to provide that small, intimate, individualized learning for your child, one that prepares them for a future without limits.
I love it. Wrap up one more time with contact information. So website, social media, where do we go to learn more?
Yep. So definitely kippmemphis.org website. We also can be found on Twitter. We also can be found on Facebook and Instagram, KIPP Memphis. So please reach out. Please connect with us. You will see a lot of great features from students being recognized at the University of Memphis, to kids participating in the AutoZone High School football game, to our outstanding program, KIPP Forward, where we match kids with colleges, and not only match them with college, we actually follow them through college, called KIPP Persistence, to ensure that there's no barrier hindering them from completing college. So all of this can be found on all of those actual social media platforms.
Nice. The website, kippmemphis.org, and that's KIPP, so kippmemphis.org. Dr. Antonio Burt, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I look forward to partnering with you for more outstanding work for KIPP Memphis.